This is the Georgia DOT right-of-way training property management during acquisition module. Property management actually starts in the early stages and has been previously covered in some of the pre-acquisition phases. But going forward, we need to look at the property management that has to be done during the acquisition phase of the project. So the property management mission is that the department is responsible for the timely demolition and removal of all structures, signs, billboard fences, underground storage tanks, and other trade fixtures from the GDOT right-of-way. As part of the certification process near the end of the acquisition phase, it has to certify that all the improvements and structures that are on the acquired right-of-way are removed, and so that the areas are cleared for construction. So property management begins and ends with the cooperation between the acquisition teams and the property management teams. There's a lot of back and forth between them. There are forms that are filled out. And once the parcels are acquired, the actual property management begins. The property management activities that occur during pre-acquisition are actually the planning stage for the property management that occurs once the property is acquired. Good property management techniques are vital for the demolition of the structures on the property that has been acquired. And the property management departments use various project management forms to identify all those structures or improvements, examples of which are shown on your screen. During the early stages of the pre-acquisition work, all the structures and improvements on the right-of-way to be acquired are inspected, and they're identified, and they're sent to property management before the appraisal assignments are even made. The PM1 form, or Property Management Form 1, is the document that is used to do that, and it includes a description of all the structures or improvements or trade fixtures. It indicates some pictures. There's also a plan sheet that is submitted with that identifies all the structures, improvements, or trade fixtures that are on the acquired right-of-way or easement. The PM1 is a standard form that can be acquired from your right-of-way project manager, and that includes the property owner's name, the physical address of the subject property. We need more than the mailing address here, because when the demo folks show up, they need to know exactly where to go. It includes photos of the improvements or structures that are in the right-of-way. It can include a line drawing sketch of structures. This is particularly important for improvements that are on the parcel. A copy of the right-of-way plan sheet is included, and that plan sheet is typically marked up to show the location of the existing structures. If there are USTs, underground storage tanks, on the project, Georgia Form EPD 7530 is to be included. You can get this form again from your project manager. There is an internet location under Georgia EPD that has a listing of most underground storage tanks in Georgia, along with the owners and locations of those tanks, and that can be a useful document for the property management group. Previously, there was a right-of-way improvement status form known as PM14 and a property management inventory list, which was known as PM15. Those forms have been combined now under a property management inventory list that includes both trade fixtures as well as improvements. And we'll cover this a bit later. But now what was previously two forms has been consolidated into one form. At closing of the parcel, notices are sent out as appropriate to owners and/or tenants of the acquired parcel. Those notices might be the notice to vacate, giving them notice that the property has closed. This is particularly important for relocation parcels and tenants that have residences. And there are sometimes items on the property that Georgia DOT has either paid for the item or included a cost to cure in the settlement, and then a reminder notice to remove. Sometimes people want to move signs or other items that are on the right of way, and those two notices are what are sent out at parcel closing to remind the owners to do that. In the case of condemnations and closings, the notices are sent to the parcel owner. This again is somewhat of a repeat of the previous slide, but it includes notices to vacate, reminder notices to remove any items that are on the right-of-way improvement list. And again, the trade fixture report and the right-of-way improvement status form has been combined at this point. All structures located within the required right-of-way shall be cleared prior to certifying the project. So the acquisition agent and project manager play a key role in this, in making sure that all the owners and tenants are aware of the requirements. And if they don't move the items that are on the right-of-way, then Georgia DOT will hire a demolition crew to do so. Underground storage tanks, USTs, and monitoring wells, please contact the GDOT Property Management Office for coordination on these items. These are complex items. Scheduling can be difficult at times on this, and so it's very good to have coordination with the Property Management Office so that everyone understands what is required and when these items will be removed. Once all the notices have been sent out, Georgia DOT Property Management is sent a notice of final vacancy and demolition/UST removal authorization. This is known as the Form PM10A. It conveys to Property Management that Georgia DOT is in legal possession of the property. With that PM10A, a copy of the option and the plan sheet is attached, and it's submitted by the acquisition agents to Property Management at the general office, who will then hire a demolition contract to go out and remove the items. All items that are in the acquired right-of-way that need to be moved are now listed on the Property Management Inventory List. This Property Management Inventory List is a single list that now includes items that were previously recorded on a trade fixture sign inventory, and an additional form called the improvements list, which typically was structures that were on the parcel. So the trade fixtures and sign inventory are now on the one management inventory list. That list is submitted prior to the appraisal contract. It's resubmitted upon final field plan review, where you make notes as to what has been removed or not been removed. That form is again updated upon right-of-way certification, at which point all items should be designated as removed. That that property management inventory list shows all the items by parcel. It indicates the station numbers and offsets of where those items are, gives a description of the item and its construction, and indicate if those fixtures have been removed. The agent lists all buildings and improvements listed in the appraisal as real property, and again, that is included on the property management inventory list. All billboards and signs are treated as trade fixtures. They are shown on the PM inventory list with all the other items that are on the property. And those billboards and signs are removed by the right-of-way contractor unless they are retained by the sign owner. And this is something to be aware of, because sometimes the owner wants to retain his sign and move it himself. Other times he wants the Georgia DOT and its right-of-way contractor to move those. Again, the property management form PM10A is the official notice to the department that the parcel is now vacant and the demolition and UST removal can proceed. It certifies that improvements are vacant, that any utilities that are connected are being disconnected, that the parcel is now ready for demolition activities, and authorizes the department to proceed with the removal of those improvements and or trade fixtures. At that point, the GDOT demolition contractor becomes responsible for clearing the right-of-way. When you turn the final forms in, that indicates by name who cleared the right-of-way, because occasionally a property owner will want to clear the right-of-way and retain those improvements. Once the property has been removed and you are preparing the PM7 form, which is the notice of clearance, you attach a photo of any cleared structures and or areas. And once the property has been cleared, the clearance report, again, the PM7, is submitted by the agent to property management within 3 business days. An unusual situation, but it happens occasionally, is that you will discover monitoring wells. These are wells that have been put in, required by the EPD to monitor the groundwater in the area. It does indicate a Georgia EPD registered contamination site, and that remediation may be active or inactive. So please advise Georgia DOT pre-construction engineer if you see one of these during pre-acquisition or acquisition activities. A note on underground storage tanks. The ownership should be registered with the EPA on Form 7530. One of the things to make sure is that if they are USTs, that they are shown on the right-of-way plans or located. Georgia DOT does not take ownership of underground storage tanks, but they will remove the USTs as abandoned trade fixtures, acting as the authorized agent of the owner. If you run across these, it can be a complicated subject. Check with your right-of-way project manager and the Department of Property Management. At certification, property management forms are required. As I previously mentioned, there used to be 2. There is now 1, the property management inventory list, and what were previously the PM14 and PM15 forms were consolidated into one form, the property management inventory list.